Hello, I am Darwin Bouret, and this is my video over Common Core Standards and ELLs. Um, this webinar was packed full of information that would be great to go over several different times just to make sure that you are getting all the information out of the Common Core Standards and the good and the bad things that come out of Common Core Standards. I guess I'm going to start off with my three concerns that I gained from the webinar. The biggest, I think the toughest one is, and we still face that even this year, still the states still take care of the yearly progress reports for ELL, and I'm not sure if the states understand where the ELLs rate and how they fall. There was another webinar that I just watched that, instead of lumping them together with native speaking, English speaking students, they have actually taken their own group and made sure that they are rated and the data is not skewed upon using just the information on them. That way they have a better idea what the data is doing. So I think that's one of my major concerns. The other major concern is there's just a huge change in English language arts. It seems like we go through a pretty continuous roller coaster ride of practices and methods and things that is used. I think that's just one of the things, when you become a teacher, you'll see these roller coasters of how instruction is being done, and it's not year to year, it's more 5-7 years to 5-7 years. It's kind of a roller coaster. We'll do one practice, and then all of a sudden we'll have a better one out there, and then we'll go back to the one that we were using. So it's just that's one of the things I think is a concern. And then just a plain lack of knowledge about assessments for ELL learners. Again, it kind of goes back to that first one where we kind of lump them together with native speaking people, thinking that they're going to catch up with the English, where if you think about it, it would be no different than us, the native speaking English people, having to learn a second language and then also taking a test on that. So we have to probably get more knowledgeable about what's going on with this, the assessments and everything that way. So I think that is coming. I think it's going to be a long time. It's going to be a few years before we see how the assessments need to change and go forward with that. The three things that I would pass on to the other classroom teachers would be every teacher needs some knowledge and background in ELL to be able to meet the college career standards, getting professional development. I've only been in this class and another class for a week or two, and I have a wife. She's doing a master's linguistic course, and we talk about this a lot. It's just amazing that I'm not really sure why this is just not incorporated into the teaching requirements, because of the high ratio of ELLs, or now they're called DLLs, dual language learners, because they do have dual languages. So I think a lot of the teachers that are out there don't have the grasp on what it takes to instruct some of the new students that are coming about. And maybe it's just the whole thing of where maybe 10 years ago that wasn't as big, but professional development, maybe you need to have a better look out for what's coming up and maybe get that professional development, so you're more on the cutting edge rather than on the tailing edge of what's going on. So that's one of my big concerns. The other concern is there's no right way to do database-driven assessments to do for the students for integration across. You just have to do it. You just have to try to integrate and get everything kind of molded together to make sure that you're doing the best for the student. And then obviously the last thing would be maybe the summary of vocabulary tiers for the ELLs. Understanding where the ELL learner is at, and then also maybe going to the next step of if they don't understand what you're saying, try to figure out in their dual language, in their native language, how to actually say that word. Maybe that would give them a better chance to understand what you're trying to say, and maybe go from there. So like I said, this webinar, it was 2 hours long. I mean, I don't know how many notes you could have taken to actually get through this. It was just packed full of information. Talking about how they're talking about how long it takes to learn a language. They're saying, oh, students can pick it up in a couple months. Well, that's not true. They actually say 5 to 7 years, or maybe even longer to learn a language. So, I mean, there's so much information out there that we aren't aware of as learning teachers, to where we need to be as becoming professional teachers or something to that sort. So this is my video over the Common Core standards. Thanks.